All right, Kathy Perry here. And how would you like to build your own WordPress website? So what we're going to talk about is the 5 in 5 course. It's 5-page WordPress website in 5 days. So some of the questions you might have: how do I build an affordable website? Why WordPress? And what are we going to cover in the course if I do decide to take this? Okay. So how do I build an affordable website? So the bottom line is, why not to learn to do at least some of this yourself? And as you're going through this process and taking this course, you're going to find out what you like to do. You're going to find out the things that you're willing to do. And then you're going to find out the things that you want to delegate, that you just don't enjoy. There's so many different aspects to building WordPress website, and different things that you'll feel comfortable with, and some things you'll just say, okay, I don't have time to learn that, I'll delegate it. But unless you roll up your sleeves and dive right into it, you're going to not know which is which for you. So, and even in the long run, as your business grows and you delegate some of your WordPress, your maintenance duties, you can always jump back on and make those last minute touch ups instead of waiting around for maybe days for your designer to get back to you. So, this is huge when time is of the essence. So, the next question we have on the table is, why WordPress? Well, WordPress is very important. First of all, the software itself is free. Yes, your hosting costs money, but it's really relatively small. I mean, you can get hosting for $4 a month type of thing. So it's really not a big deal of cost for the hosting. And the software itself is free to download to anyone. It's very, very popular for partly that reason, but it's also very safe and protected. It's search engine friendly. Google knows where to find it. It's easy to learn and easy to use. And another beauty of it is it's very extendable with themes and plugins. You can get free plugins. You can get plugins you pay for. And plugins are kind of like to WordPress or as apps are to phones. And so, that expression, there's an app for that. There's an app for everything. Well, that's the same with plugins. So another thing is, it handles all sorts of media types. So you can have videos on there. You can put your podcasts up in there. You can have photo galleries. There's so many different things you can do. And going, speaking of plugins, people who want to put up a recipe website, a cooking website, you can get plugins that are very, very sophisticated on how to display menus and things. There's so many things you can do with the plugins and the different media types that you want to put on there. And the bottom line, and the number one reason, is this is what the pros use. Okay, so what if I already have a website on another platform? Well, you do not have to switch that website today. You basically have three choices as you're going forward here. You can build a similar website in WordPress and perfect that, and then you can transfer that URL, your personal, the one you're already using, when it's all done, when you're happy with the website that you've built. Another thing you can do is you can build a secondary website in WordPress for the functions that your current web platform does not provide, or if it's too costly for those functions. And a third thing you can do is you can skip the WordPress altogether, and you can add external vendors for absolutely pretty much anything you can imagine. There is an external vendor that will do that for you. There are vendors for membership sites. There's vendors for sales pages, for opt-in pages, for e-commerce like stores. There's external vendors for everything. The only issue is, of course, that the more external parties you involve, the more money you're going to end up paying. And that's not such a bad thing down the road, but initially, when you're trying to do things a little bit on a budget, it's not going to make you very happy. Okay, so now you're convinced, you want to even check this out and dive in and give this course a try. What are we going to cover in this course? So day 0, we're going to set up your hosting. Some people already have hosting set up. Some people don't have hosting set up. Some people know what their domain name is going to be. Some people don't. So we're just going to cover that in day 0, and that gets everybody on the same page when we get to day 1. So day 1, we'll set up your admin area, we'll pick your theme, and we'll get a home page up and running. Day 2, 2, we're going to talk about security, backups, and we'll get a contact page up and running. Day 3, we're going to talk about what types of blogs you might want, and we'll help you set up your blog and get a little bit of content on that blog. Day 4, we're going to talk about Google Analytics. We're going to talk about making your website searchable so people can find you, and we'll get your About page up and running. And day 5, we're going to talk about engagement. When people hit your site, when they get on your site, what are they going to do? How are you going to captivate them? How are you going to draw them in if they, think that you are someone they want to do business with? How can they stay in contact with you? How can they get in contact with you? Do you have any demonstrations? Anything you can do? And we'll set up an email opt-in page and get that all going for you. So how does that sound? If this excites you, if you want to jump in on this, you can register below, and let's jump into the 5 on 5. Okay, I'll see you inside.